Good to see y'all. Blessings to everybody up in the chat. Shout out to my replay gang. I know a lot of people that watch me usually catch my videos later, not when they go live. So I thought it would be interesting since I guess I'm back into doing lives twice a month because I used to do lives every other week. Oh, sorry. My check. Excuse me, my allergies are acting up. Oh, by the way, look, my merch sample came in today. This is my cup. I sell this on my store. I sell this shirt too. Yep, it's got embroidery on the arm that says rain and a little crown in the back. Projectfury.etsy.com. Yes. I get product samples in case there's anything that's not like perfect. And there was just a little, I don't know, something I wanted to be better right there. But I fixed it. And so, yeah, if you order one, it'll be perfect. This is a 20-ounce cup. Look how big this is. I waited for so long to get it. I wish I would have one that said a social because that's more like me, but hey, whatever. So I thought it would be cool to do like interesting takes that fake might get me canceled. Because, girl, who is going to cancel you? Because, girl, who are you? But it's just things that I think about. And obviously, as I mature and I learn more, I might change my mind about these things. But I'm pretty sure this is how I feel about these things. So I wrote them down so I didn't forget. So the first one is single parents should not date. And this is with no judgment. It's so dangerous nowadays. And I don't know. I just feel like so many people don't take enough time to heal between relationships. And I don't think that they consider how their relationships affect their kids. And if you talk to the kids, they don't really always want their mamas with somebody else or their daddies with somebody else. You don't know what traumas, what behaviors those people are bringing into your household. And I just feel like, out of respect for the kids, all of our energy should really be focused on us rebuilding our household and rebuilding ourselves from broken relationships, not looking for a new relationship. I don't trust anybody around my kids. And I know that there are situations where, I don't know, maybe somebody's widowed or whatever their story is, and they do fall in love with someone else and everything works out, but I don't know. I feel like with my situation, okay, I was married for 20 years. We got married when we were 18. We had 6 kids, 5 boys and a girl. For 8 years, we lost custody of our kids because of our drug addiction. We ended up getting a divorce after we both went to rehab, and then he overdosed a year later. So now, 3 years later, all the kids except for 2 have moved out. I've got a 17-year-old. Well, she's about to be 17, and a 20-year-old. And it was like once I got them back, and me and their dad broke up, and low key, thank God we did, because all of my energy needed to be put into my kids. They were so broken and needed so much of my attention and my energy. And I was so depleted as a human. And I needed to rebuild my skills as a mom and reconnect with spirit. There was really no room to be trying to impress a man, worry about a man, chase after a man, especially after we already had a damaged relationship. And that leads into my next one. Have you seen this new trend where people who are in relationships tell their kids that they put their partner first and not the child? What is that? Yo, I'm adopted. And then the people who adopted me tried to get me back. So I don't have like friends, family. I don't have any of those connections. It was just my kids and my husband. So now that he's gone, it's just my kid. I can't imagine having my parents say that to me, yo. The way I would just so cut them off and run away. Maybe there's something wrong with me because but before I had my kids, like I worshiped my husband. Before I met him, God was God, but when I met him, he became my new God. Like I was enamored with this man. And low key, how you get him is how you lose him because you don't put anything before the most high. You don't put nothing before what created you. Like you always keep your spirituality first. You always keep your own development first. You don't just sell your dreams out to someone else. And that's what I did. But after I had them babies, like they filled that slot. And I remember laying in bed with him one night. He was like, if you had to choose between me or the kids, what would you choose? I was like, The kids. What do you mean they're innocent? Like, you all grown ass man. What do you mean? Like, I love you, but I'm choosing my kids. Like, what do you mean? And I was like, well, what would you choose? And he was like, well, I would choose you. I was like, are you crazy? I was like, no. If anything ever happens to me and I like end up in a hospital or such anything where it's me or them, you better choose them. Are you insane? And I feel like that's what started the split in our relationship. Like, I don't know. I just always felt like once you have a child, your problems don't take precedence over their problems, which brings it right back to your need for companionship or to heal childhood trauma by having a relationship instead of working on yourself should not be a burden laid upon your kids. Like, I don't even like people who are related to me being in my house, let alone being able to or having to or being forced to live with people who are in relationships with people I'm related to. Like, I couldn't. My kids wouldn't stand for it. They would burn the house down before they let me bring some stranger here to live with them. Like, that's so crazy. And like, you really don't know who people are. You don't even know if they're human. And that's another thing. And it don't even have to be a hard take. It's just a fact. Not everything out here walking around is human. I say it all the time, almost every video. Like, yo, I've said it before. That's why I enjoy staying in the house, even though I get out more now. I am getting out more now. That's why I keep my tail in the house, because not everything that's walking around in a human suit is actually human. We give birth. I guess this is another hard take. You're not giving birth to just people or things to raise. You are giving birth to spirits from other realms. So you need to stop. And you're not gonna hear this, and I feel so bad. Now, granted, some of these people who they're are insane. But some of them, when they like, no, that's not a baby, it's a demon, they're not lying. They're not lying. Now, I'm not saying they should have drowned their baby. I'm not saying that. Like, if it's a demon in your baby, you need to, like, I don't call the FBI. Like, if you think I won't call the police on a baby if it has demonic tendencies, you're crazy. Okay? They could have called DSS. You ain't have to do that. But it's like, it's sad because it's true. It's true. There are better ways to deal with stuff like that, but bro, how you gonna tell somebody how to deal with a demonic baby? Like, people be having problems. But it's true. And it's just like every animal you come across is not an animal, bro. Every mountain is not a mountain. They be sleeping giants for real. Hi, I'm sorry. Did I tell you all I left my glasses at my daughter's doctor's office? Hi. I don't know where you got that from, but not my angle said it. Are you sitting lotus style? I'm not sure. I don't know. So, I got into a car accident and I have like a pinched nerve and nerve damage, and I have bilateral carpal tunnel. So because I'm a recovering addict, I can't really take pain medicine. So I started learning about natural healing and like yoga poses and deep breathing and all that other stuff. So I learned about ergonomics and about how to breathe from your core and just about posture. So I'm real big on posture now, and so it's crazy. So when I'm waiting on my daughter in the doctor's office, when I'm reading, I got my book up like this because it's very important. You know how many hours you spend over like this? Me going to all these physical therapy appointments for myself and my kid, because a lot of people around us are like older people or teenagers who got hurt doing sports. These people can barely walk. They're hunched over, walking slow, and they're only like 60, 65. And then I look online and there are some 70, 80-year-olds working out, working on farms, jogging, 10,000 steps a day. That's what Sloan Bella does. They do more than that. A lot of people I watch, they work out so much. I was in this chat with these girls, eat twice a week. It's crazy. It's like when I see how other people are living their lives, it's hard to feel like I'm not doing enough. Next hard take. It's okay to cut anybody off that stresses you out, because stress will kill you. Point blank, period. Stress will make you fat. Stress will make you crazy. Stress will make you not want to ever breathe again, no Toni Braxton. And I don't like it when people say, oh, well, that's your mom. Oh, that's your brother. No. If they wear the mask of a violator, they get violator treatment. It doesn't matter who they're masquerading as. SA violator should be castrated. Now, I don't know what the female version of castration is, but yeah, very much that. I don't think I should expound on that too much. Death penalty. How do I feel about that? So, here's another hard take. Do away with the death penalty. Just give people who you would sentence to death to science. Duh. Don't you want to study their brain? You're not interested in abnormal psychology? I am. Criminal minds should be studied. And if you want to be a criminal, then we should be able to study your brain and take your body apart and turn you into a bot. I don't know. It's better than just like murdering people because, like, that's kind of crazy. And I know people commit heinous crimes, but again, back to people being spirits. It's going somewhere. I just don't see a point. It should serve some good. But don't get them organs out. Don't nobody need criminal organs. Have y'all ever read articles about people who get like donated organs and they start taking on the characteristics of the people they donated to or got donated from? I don't know. You know what I mean? That's weird. They have memories from that person, and sometimes they even die in the same way that their donor died. It's weird. Or they get into a relationship with that donor's, like a member of their family. It's so weird. This world is so weird. It's very interesting. Anything is possible. That's another one. Anything is possible. And sometimes two things that are opposite can be true. That's why it's like I don't argue with people. You have every right to feel how you feel. When I'm having a conversation with somebody and I say something and they don't agree with, I've lost the need to stand there and like debate. You feel how you feel, especially if I present them with facts, which is another hard take. Sometimes facts are facts. They're not facts. They're facts until they're not facts. They're just like conjecture. Like one of the planets, it was a planet. Now it's not a planet. Like a lot of the things that I learned as a child are not facts anymore. I swear I remember being told you could catch AIDS from like kissing people and off toilet seats, and that's not even true. I remember when AIDS first came out and they were talking to us about it in school, but they were telling us all the wrong things. And like the food pyramid, that's wrong. The maps we were shown, those are wrong. That's another hard take. Most of the stuff that we learned in school is wrong, which is crazy. These kids don't understand how lucky they are to have the internet because when I was younger, I had to like get an encyclopedia, which not was one. It was like 40 volumes. I remember when somebody knocked on the door and my adoptive parents bought those encyclopedias. Encyclopedia Britannica. That was back when people sold stuff door to door. That's how we got our vacuum and that's how we got those encyclopedias. And to learn anything, I used to have to take that trek to the library. And I would stay there for hours. That's how I spent my summers in the library. Because that's back when they had them little reading programs. And I would go down there. Because I wanted my little snacks. I read my 10 books, run me my candy bar. Sure did. I would read books for stickers. I didn't care. I love me some stickers and snacks. Next hard take, alcohol should be banned. Absolutely. Absolutely. It really... Do you know you can have multiple DUIs? At least in my state. I don't know how it is in your state. You can have multiple DUIs and not lose your license. Like, you just pay a fine and have to go to this class about not drinking. That's really crazy to me. So, you want to take away THC from people who legitimately have pain. And they just opened dispensaries in my area, I say like 2 years ago. And there's so many different types of people that go there. Old people, young people. It's a lot of older people that go there. I'll be like, yo, you be smoking weed. But it's not just that. They have tonics and little gummies and stuff. It's not just all smoking pot. But, you know, that's old herbal medicine. Those aren't the only herbs that can help you with joint pain and stuff like that. And I've been learning a lot about herbs lately because when you have a mental health disorder or a chronic pain like I do, but you're an addict and you can't take prescription meds, You have to learn about everything else: herbs, teas, how to use food as medicine. That's really been a big one. And how to eliminate things that mess with your endocrine system, that mess up your hormones. Like, I've had to take so much time out to learn about how the body works and how every little thing in my environment affected me on a chemical level. So now we in the science, which bleeds into spirituality. So now it's just a constant feeding of my brain, which I feel like I'm dying if I'm not learning or creating something. And I learned that a lot of our mental health issues are nutritional deficiencies. Like, if I can take supplements, the proper supplements that I need, and take them at the right time and take them in the right combination, I can heal myself. You know, if I can shut out all the noise and really keep it real with myself about what needs to change, then I can heal myself. Next hard take: resources should be free. I mean, yeah, resources could definitely be free, and you could automate it so there's no need to say, well, jobs are being lost, this. You know, with any new industry, there'll be new jobs, but it's pretty obvious the problems that we have in society, and the solutions are not hard. I think people just want to be greedy. I've seen middle and high school kids just casually sitting around talking about world issues and how to solve them. And their solutions were extremely logical. But it's like everybody, I don't know, people just seem to want to be selfish or just want to, I don't know, have more than others. I don't know. I would feel bad being a trillionaire and not sharing with others. I've had hardly anything and just wanted to help other people. That's why I have my YouTube channel. One, to track my growth, because that way I know exactly what I did. Like, nobody can try to tell me a story about something that I said or a way I felt or mistakes that I made. I recorded it, so you can't tell me nothing. And also, you know, to track my growth, to keep myself accountable. I don't know, I lost my train of thought. That happens a lot. But oh, and to tell my story to help other people. And because it's kind of crazy, like, it's a story that should be told, and I wish more people would tell their story, especially about spirituality, issues with parenting, and mental health. I wish more people would talk about that because, ooh, great segue into my next hard take, because we're all down here struggling in some type of way just because it's rough and it's nature and we're trying to survive, and you have to eat and you have to keep your body clean and you have to make sure you don't get sick and you have to protect your family. So even if you're born into like wealth, it's still a struggle to survive because we live in the wild. You have to find shelter, you have to maintain that shelter. Like, it's challenging. My other hard take is there are no races for real. There's just where you from. There's just the human race. Be so for real. We're just from different places, but human race. Which goes to my next hard take. Like, each country definitely should not have an army because we are not each other's enemy. What we should have is one world army for extraterrestrial threats. Like, duh. We are not still having that conversation in 2025 about whether or not there's extraterrestrials or life on other planets. We're definitely not still having that conversation. Like, be so for real. So I don't see a point in each country needing to defend itself from each other. Like, we don't need to be a threat to each other. Well, everyone's at. Like, the threat is not each other, which circles back to the free education, if I even said that. I don't know if I got to that one yet. That education should be free. Well, duh. It's called the advancement of humanity. If you have one group of people that are retarded, eventually everyone will be so. If you have one group that is weak, eventually everyone will be so. Like, we share the same consciousness. It's all so stupid. And that's my next hard take. I don't think men are fit to lead. Like, shout out to all the men. I love you. But yo, y'all testosterone is insane. Wars and stuff and all the bravado, bro. Women are not like that by nature. Like, everybody's different, and obviously I'm generalizing, but no, 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 no. We're gonna make sure everything is clean and everybody is fed. Structure, order, fairness. Not all of this. You know? It's some of this. You know, lip gloss a little bit. But girl, no. When it really comes down to it, no females are trying to have no war. We're trying to take care of these babies. You know, we're trying to evolve. We're trying to grow. And we just, it's so, men are so suppressive. Like, why are y'all like that? It makes no sense. Everybody has their own strength. You don't need to try to choke out the voices of women to make yourself feel tough. You shouldn't even feel tough. It's not even fair. Y'all got all that muscle and stuff, all that logic. That's great for y'all. Let us be empathetic and soft and intelligent and strategic and aggressive when we need to protect our kids. What are we talking about here? I don't understand that. This whole war of the sexes thing, I think it's so contrived. We allow the media to just, if it's not the races bumping heads, it's the sexes bumping heads. Oh, perfect segue. Cultural sensitivity and empathy training should happen in schools, and not just schools, in jobs as well. Because you never know what's going on in people's homes. And if you're going to send your kid to a public school, then they should learn how to get along with each other. When I went to college, in one of my books in the very front, it had a section about the different ways that different types of people learn, like visual learners, whatever, whatever. And I thought, wow, I never even considered that. And I was like, that would have been really good information to have in the first grade instead of having just one standard for everybody to reach. And it just had me thinking about, how our school system is set up. I've been to private school, I've been to public school, and they both suck in their own ways. And going into debt to learn is crazy. But then you wonder why people are using the wrong form of two in the comments. Like when I was growing up, there was value put on education. And even though I feel like it was done as a flex, like I feel like our parents weren't, well, at least from my situation, I don't feel like I was adopted. So I was like a trophy child, low-key. But I don't know if this is anybody else's experience. I was pushed to be great to make them look like good parents, not necessarily for my own good. Because they didn't even ever ask me what I wanted to do with my life. I was just set up into certain classes and arenas, and my life was supposed to go one way, and when I decided no, this is what I want to do with my life, I got kicked out. Okay, weird. But yeah, excuse me, education should be free. Why wouldn't it be? There's a lot of stuff that people should not be paying for, and there's a way that we can set up society where it would definitely work. And the transition from where we're at now to, I don't want to say a more utopian society, but yeah, it's given that. It would be challenging, but it's not impossible. But the ego's got to be sat down. Like, you don't have all the answers. And that's another thing. I guess that's another hard take, is allowing my kids to question me. And I raised them that way because you can be wrong. We can be wrong. And right now, the way society is set up, it's giving very wrong. But it's important for people to tell their stories, the ugly parts, the pretty parts, so that people don't feel so alone, like they're the only ones. People really out here thinking that they're crazy because they're the only ones experiencing stuff, especially when it comes to spirituality, fear, hope, trying to find out who God is, trying to find out who you are. Like, low-key, I feel like we're all going through the same stuff. It's just painted differently, depending on where you're from. Those are all my hard takes. But the reason I showed up is because it's consistency is challenging for me, and I have a lot of anxiety, and I'm trying to change my life. So I force myself to show up for things that I low-key don't want to do because that's what's good for me. And I'm going to stick to the plan. So those are my hard takes. Single parents shouldn't date. Probably not, because I think maybe just focus on your kids. It's a lot of angry kids out here that wish that their parents would have put their energy into them and not into some man or some woman that they don't even know. And I feel like moving into this next year, into this next phase of us growing as a collective, I feel like we really need to focus on our spirituality more and keeping ourselves safe, and just recognizing when things aren't what they seem and just believing it. If something looks like a demon, it's a demon. Stop messing with it. There is no coochie that good in the world. There's no stick that magic. that you need to sacrifice the peace of your home or risk the lives and the well-being of your family just to be in a relationship. Get a dog, get a teddy bear, go on a shopping spree. Like, we got to make better decisions. And I'm sorry, too many teenagers have come through my house running away because their mama done moved some guy into their house and something weird has happened or wrong or violent or just they're not getting what they need. I can't even tell you. It's horrific, honestly. And that's another reason I tell my story, because it's not just my story I'm telling. I've come across so many people that I'm not just telling my story, I'm telling the story of many. And low-key, I feel like I'm telling the story of my ancestors too. Even though I don't know who they are. This adoption thing, it's not even so much like, oh, I don't know who my parents are. It would just be nice to be able to connect to some type of history. That's why I'm glad my kids at least have that on their dad's side. SA violators should be castrated. Definitely should. Alcohol should be banned. Yeah, because there is no good side to that. There's no healing side to that. Hot toddies don't count. Sorry. At least if you're gonna have okay, I'll make a deal with you. 0.03 alcohol content. But anything more than that, you don't need it. Like, how many more people have to die? Education should be free. I mean, obviously, education should be free. And there's no reason not to set that up. If you want to automate something, do that. You could automate all of the courses. You don't have to hire anybody to teach them. They could literally just show up and sit on a computer and do all their classes. The testing could be automated. So if that's what you need to counteract the cost, do that. Put everything online. You don't have access to online? Okay, go on campus. Y'all want to hire robots so bad? There you go. Put digitized college. Make it free. Then people who live out in the middle of nowhere, because there's a lot of them, and don't have transportation or who are disabled, never have to get up and go anywhere. They could just go to school. Resources should be free. Yeah, obviously. Oh, that's another one though. Look, I feel like people need to slow down on the baby making. Like, if you want to be out there and spreading it wide and low, okay, but I just don't think this is the season to be bringing any more people onto this planet until we get our stuff together. Like, all this just popping out baby after baby. So, if religion is man-made, and the religions say, oh, just keep having kids. Just keep having kids. But then you have all of these kids that are born into a system where they are trained to be slaves for the elite. Then it kind of makes one wonder, was that all set up that way to begin with? Because just keep multiplying really sounds like a breeding farm to me. And I watch a guy that has a breeding farm. He has cows and he has bulls. And some of those bulls are going to be sold for slaughter. And it's giving that's what our society is. But what do I know? I'm just an old lady running my mouth. Cultural sensitivity and empathy training should be a must. Not just at the jobs, but in school. Yeah. Because you never know how kids are being raised at home. And they do need to learn how to be sympathetic and empathetic. When kids go to school, I think that they should be screened for mental health issues. And I feel like the school should be not just involved with the kid, but also be involved with the family. Because if you're giving them homework and you're expecting them to come to school the next day ready to learn, if they're going home to an environment that is toxic, they're not only not retaining the information, they're stunted, they're not growing, and then you have behavioral problems in school. So I feel like if you're going to send them to public school, then it needs to be more holistic. Our whole society in America, when you go to the doctor, when you are dealing with schools, I feel like we need to have a more holistic mentality. it should be more like, so teachers should low-key be also social workers, because we understand that these kids have mental health issues and spiritual afflictions, all these other things, even physical disabilities, not just mental or like learning disabilities, going to these schools and you're putting them all together and they're unruly, and now people are getting suspended, they're not getting an education, all these things. It's because a lot of times home is not right. So let's just stop pointing fingers and saying, oh, where's the dad? Oh, where's the mom? Oh, you shouldn't have been an addict. Oh, you shouldn't have problems and be human. Be so for real. Stop pointing the finger and just help people to freak out. Just help them. Just help them. What do you want? What do you want them to like throw themselves on a sword and say, yeah, I made mistakes in my past. Yeah, I gave my love to people that abandoned me. Yeah, I laid up under a man that filled me with something that came into this world that needs a little bit of extra help. Like, I don't know what people want. Do you want them to like shame themselves in front of the whole community, or are you just gonna freaking help people when you see that their life ain't straight? I don't get that. I just don't get that. We're all one race, the human race. Yeah, like stop the cultural stuff. Nobody's better than anybody. Everybody is stupid. Humans aren't that smart. We're still stuck here. One thing you can say about every single extraterrestrial in every single story from the very beginning of time about every single extraterrestrial, they've always been more intelligent than us. The dumbest extraterrestrial is smarter than the smartest human. So, I don't know what anybody's being so cocky for. Nobody is better than anyone. We all need a lot of improvement. No army is just a world army for extraterrestrial threats. Yes. And war is very rarely the answer, which is exactly why I feel like women should be in more leadership positions, because we are more inclined to have empathy and want to help and solve and unite. Excuse me. It's my cup. ProjectFury.etsy.com. Oh my God. That's it. That was all my takes. I'm not sure what the next live is going to be about, but I feel like I do need to stick to this every other week for a while. I think I stopped. It's not because I was stressed out. It's just because I was recording a lot of long form videos at that time. So by the time Sunday came, I was talked out. Like I had nothing to say. And I'm not really one of them people that's just going to get on there to get on here. Get on here to get on here, because it's not like I'm getting paid to do this. It's not my job. It's not my job. So if I don't have anything to say, I'm not just going to get on there to just burn time. I don't watch lives like that. I mean, if people want to get on their live and scrub toilets and fry chicken, hey, get your money. But I like to have meaningful interactions. So that's what I try to do. So I'm not really sure what we're going to talk about next time. So when would that be? So if today's the 23rd, we would skip the 30th, and that would be the 7th of December? I don't know. We'll figure it out, though. I love you. I appreciate for you. I appreciate you coming to hang out with me and listening to me ramble, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I love you, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace. Look, we got our orientation right today and everything. I didn't even turn on my other light. It's always something. It's always one thing that I forget or that's not right. But that's okay, because that gives me something to do better next time. My cat wasn't in here harassing me. I got the orientation right. We get better. That's all that matters. As long as we're improving and moving forward, y'all. That's all the best I can do sometimes. Say goodbye, Squeak.